All right, guys, we are live. It is Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. It's that time.
That time.
Anything before I drop the music and we get started? Any first thoughts, Grice?
Hey, football's here for us, Valley Creek. Football's here.
Uh-oh. I play football in Mile Creek. Here we go.
Hey, see, let's.
Okay, in the interest of time, I'm going to get right to it. We're going right to what did you see? All right, we had a bunch of games. Grace, you were over at the Hopewell game on Friday night when they played East Mac, and they got a milestone win. Tell us a little bit about the milestone win they got.
Yeah, so a lot of storylines there. I mean, of course, clearly everybody understands my connection there. Our old defensive coordinator, Coach Lenny Sanders, is now the head coach at East Mac High School. Glad to get him there under the AD, former head coach of Olympic Coach Fowler. Coach Bird is able to win the first actual road win of the program. One of those little things starting a new program. It's always tough whenever, you got to get these kids to perform at home as they do on the road. So great win there. Again, one of the bigger wins of Coach Bird's, career there. So definitely great, pretty emotional, great for me to kind of see two old, guys like his friends and mentors do better.
Yeah, and you caught up with two Hopewell players and coach after the game. So let's hear what they had to say.
We talked all week just about starting fast. Not waiting for the game to come to us. Go take the game. And I thought the guys did a good job. We came out, got to score the first drive, bogged down a little bit. Got a couple scores, got a nice score for the end of the half. The thing I was most proud of, like I always tell them, how you start at the halftime is a big tell of kind of how the game's going to finish, in my opinion. So for us to go first play, tutty, come right back out on D, get a 3 and out, big deal.
Really, this was like a revenge game. I used to play here, so, got to come in here and execute. We started off the game slow, but, second quarter, we just got to keep it going.
Definitely, and I felt like you elevated your game, a little bit more than against Cox Mill last week. Can you talk about some of the things and some of the reasons why you were able to take it to the next level outside of course, playing against your former team?
It's really all about mentality. That's really what it's all about. Next game, you do bad, you just got to keep going. Next game, you just got to do even better.
Damon, we got to turn it to you. A couple big catches. We talked about last year, you being a starter, missing most of the season to injury. Can you talk about your mentality after that major injury and how you've kind of taken that into the work this year?
I haven't won my whole entire Hopewell years. I come with the same intensity every game. I play my heart out for real. I don't leave nothing behind either. And I come out here and I work every day. I work at practice, and I just grind.
We talked about kind of milestones for you as a young head coach. I think you had 2 here, of course. First road win, for your program, and again, first against your former defensive coordinator, Lenny Sanders. I know, that was a tough game, of course. Even for me being part of this staff as well. Can you talk about your mentality going into that and just how you're able to kind of focus with everything?
Yeah, well, it's tough when you playing against a guy that you sit in the room with for the last 4 or 5 years, and you talk defense and bounce ideas off each other. It's almost like you're in each other's heads, So the thing is, you just can't try to overcomplicate the game. He knows what we do. We know what he do. So it's just more about, who guys going to make more plays. And that's what I told the guys. We're not scheming up nothing special or nothing. We just got to go out and make plays.
Well, that was a really big win for them. And then across town at West Charlotte, Coach Griner, who's in the back, proved you can go home again. You got to win at Harding. And then after the game, Coach Griner had a couple of
Coach told me, he said it was on me. And off rip, we was gonna go on fly ball to me, but I said I was gonna take it back on kick return, so that's what I did.
All right.
Hey, first off, I already knew I was going to the crib. I felt like I was going right. I saw the left, and I just hit it hard. Had to finish it for my boys.
What does that mean to you guys?
Hey, it means a lot. My boys were cheering me on the sideline, boosted me up, helped me keep going.
We scored on the very first play on the offense, got called back. We had another big run at the end of the game, got called back. So we literally had 2 penalties that cost us, 80-yard touchdown plus this big kickoff return from the end day to set the tone in the second half. That was phenomenal. I thought the defense did a phenomenal job. The whole night they did fantastic. We put them in one bad situation, and it cost us out of that long delay.
Right, yeah.
And hopefully he's okay. But I'm very proud of our guys. I mean, it's always tough having a bye week first week.
Game, yeah.
Your first games after someone's already had a game and felt out, like, you know, the cramping situations, the conditioning, you know, the intake of what you're supposed to get hydration wise. So it was good to get that out of the way and then get a win. And you know, I love being here. I spent a lot of years here, and I spent a lot of time here, and you know, it's bittersweet because I love all those guys over there that coach. They do a great job. Know them personally. And I hope they do really, really well. I think their team plays very, very hard, and I think they're going to win some games.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the game of the year, Chris, we called it Butler and Richmond County. What did you see there before we drop the highlights? What did you see on Butler Richmond, Chris?
Two exceptional teams. Both of them were well coached. Punches, counter punches. It was like a heavyweight fight. You know, these guys, just when you thought Richmond was out, they made a huge comeback to get back into it, eventually take the lead. Butler came back and kind of put the clamps on it. You thought it could have went either way down there towards the stretch. Kellen Hood, you got to give hats off to him. About 150 on the ground, about 117 or so more through the air. I think his versatility was just enough to kind of put the Raiders overboard.
Gary, your thoughts here?
Like Chris said, the coaching in this game was phenomenal because, you know, Butler started out fast and then Richmond adjusted and they took the lead going into the half, and then Butler came out and adjusted and they regained the lead, and then finally Richmond finished it off. So it's a great game to watch. The adjustments, the coaching adjustments because one of the things I really noticed is how the quarterback Hood, he had a phenomenal second quarter where they just couldn't stop him. They didn't have enough guys in the box, and they made that adjustment at the halftime, and they slowed him down the third quarter, and it was just a great game to watch. And they will probably see each other later on down the line if Richmond gets put in the West.
I think Richmond's going to go east, but Grice had the interviews had the interviews after the game. We'll hear from Grice and Coach.
I was just like, hey, man, we got to go out there and score. Defense did their part. We got to go out there and score. My coach told me, he was like, defense going to get a stop, and I'm going to have a chance. I know the offense better than anyone else. Let's go out there and make a play. That's what I did. I mean, it means a lot. Everyone counted us out this year because Caleb and them was going to count us out last year too. But no one expected me to be as good as Caleb or anywhere around there, really. So just come out here and get this big win, I feel great.
That's awesome. So, you know, last thing, you know, anytime I see y'all, even when I came out here tonight, it's like, you know, y'all don't respect this big 55. It's like, y'all, you know, Charlotte doesn't respect you guys. So I'm giving this platform to you. Tell the Charlotte media, tell the state, you know, what you guys are about. You kind of hinted on it when people count you out. Tell them what this big win means and what Richmond County is going to do.
I mean, we still got dogs on our team. Don't count us out. We can compete with any Charlotte school. It's like Charlotte has a bunch of good schools. Don't get me wrong, but so does Richmond. We can compete with anybody.
You know, what you know about Caleb, great things he's done. His younger brother Taran last year in the spring was kind of, you know, it's welcoming in. Looks like this was coming out party today. He made some amazing plays they talk about.
Just the heart that kids got. I mean, we've known that, but I think everybody else in this part like you can see that. And we know what kind of kid he is, how he works, how he comes to it every day, does everything he's supposed to do. And so when he gets out, he's like, what he's supposed to do. And he just swept the money and kept the big, and it gives a chance to win because of it.
Incredible. So again, great win here. No rest for the lyric. You guys go get the news for that on a short week as well. You can't talk about just your preparation for the mindset. Even now, looking forward to that weekend.
Yes, I mean, we can go on a bus trip off the time this past weekend. You know what? There's nothing for this. So the best way to get our minds right this week. We're actually playing JV at home, him home, get home. So we have a full week this week. But hey, it's what we do. It's what we do, so we're looking forward to it.
How sound conditions down in the field after the game.
So it was quiet, and as soon as I pushed the record button, they started playing some music. Well, you can't win.
No, but I did hear Kellen Hood say we got some dogs, Chris, dogs. And we can play with anybody. Do you guys think that's true? Do you guys think Richmond County can cut down the nets this year?
Yes, 100%. I mean, I think the thing that is different about this Richmond County team than others is how big that offensive line is. And of course, they've had some guys. The bigger thing is having that offensive line to is the playmaker. Kellen Hood did some things against a very good Butler defense. Let's give all the credit to Trip Stone. If it wasn't for that last drive that led to that go-ahead score, Trip Stone only allowed probably about 2 or 3 first downs in that second half outside of that drive. That Butler defense is phenomenal, and Trip Stone showed you exactly why he's one of the best defensive coordinators out there. Turning it back to Richmond, putting up the points they did and just the dynamic play of the QB and the running back, and they stick to what they know. I think that's going to give any team in the East a problem, and when they come to the best of the West, I think it's going to be tough to guard someone that is good as Kellen Hood is.
Well, real quick in the East, Chris, Roseville, State Farms last year, comes down and plays East Forsyth last week and was blown out. Are we concerned about Roseville, or is this just a really hard non-conference
No,
game?
not at all. Roseville is still built like a Western team, in my opinion. They've got 2 tough losses to exceptional teams, so I'm not too worried about them. They'll get better this week against East Wake. But the fact that they did go west and they played a really good East team that I think is a top 2 or 3 kind of team right now. If you would see the athleticism and the strength behind that team, you would probably agree with me. I'm not worried about Roseville. There's still some obstacles they'll have to deal with in the East. Wake Forest is looking good again. Leesville Road's kind of up there, Millbrook. But obviously with Richmond County going in the East as well, I'm not worried about them. But, they'll certainly have to get by at least Richmond, maybe Wake.
Yeah, 2 of the top 10 teams in the Sweet 16 in Raleigh met on Friday. We thought it was going to be a close game. Leesville Road turned into a blowout, going 45-0. Alex Bass was on the scene.
Yeah, we tried to be physical, so I thought we ran the ball really well early. We made some big plays. They were giving us some throws, but they were trying to stop the run, and we just were able to execute. The defense played well. We gave us some short fields, and we complimented each other tonight, which we did not do last week as well. But it was a good game.
Good deal. So talk about what you were able to do, particularly in the latter part of the game in terms of beginning in that second quarter, limiting the amount of time that Amari Odom could have on the field.
Yeah, our goal all week, they do a good job of pressing downfield, but also throwing screens and underneath stuff. And our kids just did a good job of doing their job. We practiced it all week. They did a good job of following through with what we taught them.
All right, so that was that game. And then we had South Mecklenburg. Chris got a big win over Providence. Coach Evans is a little upset with us at the Observer because we call it an upset because South was ranked 14, Providence ranked 9. 14 beats 9. That's an upset, right?
Yeah, I understand where he's coming from. And you're right. Semantics, it is, 9-14, it is what it is. But I don't see that as an upset. I think, South is just a really good, gritty football team. I seen them last year. They're very big up front, very physical up front, and they're going to win games. And looking at how they played against Charlotte Catholic, who we know is a strong team, and then look forward and look how Catholic just dominated the Hickory Ridge team that we also know is a good team. I think that solidifies.
They didn't dominate them. They didn't dominate them. They turned the ball over. They turned the ball over 3 times. They didn't dominate them.
They did 15 points. 15 points.
Hey, don't talk about Gary's man juke like that. Come on.
But they didn't. I was there. They didn't dominate.
Look, let's go back to South Met. Coach Evans has some thoughts after the game.
Well, this week we really pushed harder in practice. We fixed up the mistakes that we made last week. Came in with a better attitude. Worked hard all practice. We only gonna continue to work harder.
Were you discouraged at all last week? Because it seemed like he came so close.
We wasn't discouraged, man. We pick ourselves up. We know the mistakes we made. We got to fix it, and we fixed it today.
Now, the defense kind of helped you out tonight, though, didn't it? And special teams.
Right.
That kind of makes a difference when they're making big plays, too, doesn't it?
Yeah, we work hard every practice for it. And they come out here and play hard because they work hard in practice.
Coach, talk about what the difference was between last week and this week.
The kids cleaned up a lot of their mistakes that they made last week, right? We didn't turn the ball over. We didn't throw red zone interceptions. We protected the ball. We played even better on defense than we did last week. And the kids just competed their butts off. They played at a higher level. We battled all week with getting off the field because of heat and having to go in the gym and having to do back and forth. And I mean, I can't say enough about how hard these guys worked all week, and they got better from last week to this week.
Your defense really kind of made a statement here tonight, though, didn't it?
Oh man, I mean, you got a great running back over there in one, man, and he's going to Air Force. He's phenomenal. He never stops running. Defense swarmed. They got after it. I challenged them this week to get after him, and I thought they answered the challenge.
You made big plays, offense, defense, and special teams then, too, with that punt return.
Yep. We had we always want to try to get a score, on special teams, which is always a great thing. You always want to get +2 on turnovers, and we had a great job doing that tonight. Still want to clean up some of the ball security stuff that we had, a couple issues with that, but, Anthony found a crease, stuck his foot in the ground on that punt return, and didn't stop until he flipped the ball to the referee in the end zone.
All right, so we got new faces on the screen. Sam is getting nervous.
Yeah, I mean, all we do is just get kids that have 1,400 on SETs and stuff. They come to the game show. Unbelievable. Like, I figured you out now, Langston. All you do is you go look at SAT scores.
No. I got my man Nate Hajduk. Am I saying it right?
Yes, sir. It's pronounced Hajduk, so like high and then Duke.
Hajduk from Providence High School. Tell us a little about the season at Providence and how you guys are doing.
So far we're coming off a loss to South Meck, but at the same time, I think we really needed that loss because coming off a good season that we had last year, we built up our confidence maybe a little bit too much, and we lost that hunger and that drive that we had last year. So we're ready to get after Mallard Creek this week.
Tell us about playing Mallard Creek. They hadn't had a game. You guys had a little warm-ups there, the advantage there.
So I know that they're gonna be ready. They're excited. This is their first game out. So we just got to do our thing in practice. Coming off this loss, we got the same hunger and drive that they do, knowing that this is their first game. So we've been watching film and having good practices, and we just ready to get ready to go on Friday.
Sam, I've been watching film of this young man today. He's got happy feet and he can bring the load. You'd love to have him on your team, but right now he's about to take you down.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I mean, you guys give them the answers. I mean, I had to go perfect last week to even, it's just crazy.
Nate, do you have any clue what these questions are?
No clue, but I'm ready. No clue.
I do. I call. I know you just bet all in right there. I call. You bluffing. He gave you that.
No, I don't know. He didn't tell me nothing. I'm just going for
it. Here we go.
Brother, I'm not MJ, just Coach Griner, but I'm the GOAT of the game show. That's a good look I got right there, though.
Yeah, got your little guns out and everything. All right, Nate, you know how this goes. I put the questions up on the screen. The Dale and Chelsea will read them. You pick one of the choices. You have to go first because Sam has his rule because you're the visitor.
I might change it up today.
Are you going to go first?
No. I was just saying.
Okay, all right. Here we go, Dale.
Okay. Netflix has a new high school football show based on a small town team in Georgia where football is king. What is it called when football is king down there? A, Undefeated. B, QB County. C, Titletown High. D, Greater.
All right. I'm supposed to say that out loud. I'm pretty sure I'm going C, Titletown High.
All right, Samuel.
Golly, man, I ain't got no time to watch no TV right now. Shoot.
That's your daughters. They're in the background with the Google.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got Dale saying QB. He didn't say country. He's saying QB County. I'm like confused now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think C sounds right. I said Titletown High. I'm going with C.
You're going with C. That is the answer. Titletown High. So we are tied at 1. I don't know how you always do this, Sam. It's like you get lucky, and then you start.
Let's get one thing straight. All these coaches, we all talk to each other. The one thing everybody says is good luck, good luck, good luck. You'll never hear me say that. I don't believe in luck. Care less about it. I think it's like evil.
Let's see how lucky you are on this question, Chelsea.
All right. NC State's football team has had winning seasons in 6 of the past 7 years. The Wolfpack was 4-8 in 2019 and only beat one ACC opponent. Who was it? A, Florida State. B, Syracuse. C, North Carolina. D, Georgia Tech.
Samuel.
I'm going D, Georgia Tech.
No. Sam has to go, not you.
Oh, Sam going first? All right. Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Samuel.
I'm gonna go A, Florida State.
Florida State. Who you going, Nate?
I'm going Georgia Tech.
The answer is B, Syracuse. I knew Dale knew the answer to that question. 16.
I was thinking Syracuse too, but gosh.
I was about to tell him to use Sam's strategy.
Did you know that, Dale? I put that in there for you.
Oh yeah.
Florida State.
Now, the only question I knew out of this whole tonight.
Right?
Oh, I'm gonna let him answer. I'm gonna see what he thinks.
What?
I was gonna let him answer. I was like, I'm gonna see what he thinks.
I know you were. I'll stop him. Chelsea, let's go.
All right. The number one R&B hip hop song in the country right now is Rumors. Which rapper appears on the song with Lizzo? A, Lil Kim, B, Cardi B, C, Meg Thee Stallion, or D, Nicki Minaj?
Nate.
I don't listen to no Lizzo, but I'm gonna go with Megan Thee Stallion. I don't even know.
Meg Thee Stallion, we twerking. What you got, Sam?
Golly, man. Is he really doing the okie doke on me right there? Because I was hoping he knew this. Oh my goodness. Gary in the back saying Tim Tebow. What is wrong
We need
with
to put you on the clock, man, because you take so long.
No, there ain't no clock. You can't change the rules on it.
I'm not changing
it needs to be.
Oh my God, Dale. Can we get a new host?
We need a game. We need a game clock.
All right, I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna go.
Dolly Parton.
Cardi B.
You gonna go Cardi B?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, you got it right. I don't know.
He had to wait till his daughters got the answer.
I know his daughters.
My daughters are 7, 8 years old. They listen to Christian music. They don't listen to.
No, but they got Google.
They got Google.
I swear.
So they just Googling Lizzo or whatever.
I swear. Chelsea, let's go.
All right. Charlotte Hornets rookie LaMelo Ball won NBA Rookie of the Year last season, but who finished second? A, Tyrese Haliburton, Sacramento. B, Anthony Edwards, Minnesota. C, John Morant, Memphis. D, Patrick Williams, Chicago.
Who's first this time? It's
me, I think.
Yes, you. Okay.
Golly, can I just think this out?
No, we gotta. We don't want to be on.
All right, I'm not saying John Morant. I don't think John Morant was a rookie last year. He was good the year before, I think. I can't think. I'm gonna go D, Patrick Williams.
All right, what you got, Nate?
Hello, Nate.
I'm going B, Anthony Edwards.
We are tied. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Nate.
Anthony Edwards, huh? I wasn't
Nate converting on fourth down right there for
John was not a rookie, right? Last year.
He was a rookie 2 years ago.
I was trying to fool you. I was trying to fool you with that one. I was trying to fool you with that one, Sam.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I knew that it wasn't.
All right. Dale has the final question, and we are tied, so the winner wins.
Okay. This is for the win.
For the win.
No steals here. In the new DC movie, The Suicide Squad, which famous actor plays Bloodsport, the character who put Superman in the hospital? Idris Elba. B, Will Smith. C, Sylvester Stallone. D, John Cena.
Nate.
I'm going D, John Cena.
John Cena. Samuel.
Bloodsport. I remember watching this movie. I'm trying to remember which one was Bloodsport. I'm going to go with A.
Dang. How do you do this?
Oh.
Sam wins. Well, Nate, I was really pulling for you to get that last question, so you.
I didn't even four corner it right there. I went with my gut this time.
All right, Nate, I got to bring in Grice. Grice, assistant coach at Mallard Creek. You got to face him on Friday. Any words of wisdom?
As a coach,
Talk some junk. I want to hear some junk.
Talk some junk. Give some locker room. No, don't do that.
No, I don't like to talk trash before the game. You know, it's more for me.
First of all, on a serious note, thank you. We have not had a game. You guys didn't have a game. We were able to make that happen. I think that's the first thing before you call the whole who wins. Like,
let's get as many games as we can.
Yeah, that's some real stuff. You got to step up on some anywhere, anytime mentality. So look forward to going against y'all, man. We know y'all coming with it. We saw y'all 7-on-7, had some good fun at Carolina. So look forward to it.
Bryce, in the group chat, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what he said. He says, I was hoping Nate would get one dub this week. LOL.
Nate, tell me something. How concerned are you guys right now about getting games in and that you might not get them all in? How big of a concern is that for you?
To us, that's major because, you know, it's like one team at a time. You've seen teams are going down one at a time for COVID. So it's like you don't know what's going to happen. You know, teams might go out and then it might be a few teams left in the playoffs that you know don't have COVID, and next thing you know, someone's going to semis or states because you know another team has COVID. So it's a huge thing to us. You know, staying safe and practicing our using masks and social distancing. So it's big to us right now.
That's what's up. Well, look, man, thanks for coming on. Good luck to you guys on Friday. Good luck the rest of the season, man. Really enjoyed you, and hopefully we have you back.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, take care.
All right, y'all be going.
All right.
Nice young man there, Nate Hyduck of Providence High School. Man, that dude brings a load on. When I look at his film, he is hard. All right, it's time for Kelsey's World. Time for me to take a break.
Well, Chelsea, here we are again. I don't know if we've got some theme music or not for you, but before we do that, tell us who we talked to this week.
Yeah, so I spoke with O-line Taran Williams from South Meck football, and I think it's really cool because I know they just beat Providence, and in the interview, we talked about, you know, his mentality going into that game. So it's cool to see, you know, how it played out and how they did get the win. And really nice kid. He was one who was interested in an interview. And to those watching, if you want to be featured on the show, my Twitter is @ChelseaSipple. Send me a DM, and I'd love to speak with you.
Let's see it.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Sipple from Talking Prep Charlotte, and here I have Taryn Williams from South Mecklenburg football across the 2022 O-line. So just talk about how this season has already been going differently, maybe better, and just how it's been going so far.
So far, this season's been going good, and to compare it from the spring season, I'm just glad to have all the fans back because I know personally I feed off the energy of the fans. And when the energy's good, I feel like I'm playing better. Yeah.
And what culture do you guys implement in practices to be the successful team that you guys are?
We have this slogan. It's called the Standard. We live by it. We do everything by it. Basically, you no matter where you are, whether you're at home, school, on the field or off the field, you just want to live by the standard, do everything by the standard, and make sure you're doing everything right.
Mm-hmm. And then this will be your senior year. So what are some of your personal goals or team goals you have? And it can be on or off the field.
Some of my goals are I want to make the playoffs because we haven't made the playoffs in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make all conference for like a personal goal. And I also want to lead our O-line in pancakes.
Awesome. And speaking of O-line, how would you describe your game and a threat on the field?
I would describe my game. I'm very aggressive and powerful. And in the pass game, I'm very patient. I know when to strike and when not to strike.
And I'll throw this in there. I don't know if you prepared for it or not, but what's one thing you like to do outside of football just to get to know our athletes?
Something that I like to do outside of football, I like to fish and go outside. I've been fishing ever since I was little. It's just something that helps me relax.
Cool. I know that's popular in North Carolina.
All right, Chelsea. At Grice, I was about to say right before we went here, she just continues to get better each week.
Oh, it's great. I mean, you know, I think we're blessed to go from Kinsey to come right in with Chelsea. And it's like the ball hasn't been dropped. And I mean, I you know, everybody always talks about this generation and always says the negative. I'm glad we get to highlight the positive and some amazing young women that are coming in here. And it looks like they're the next, you know, next level and next era of wonderful sportscasters and future journalists. So Chelsea, great job as always.
Thank you,
Good
guys.
job, Chelsea. Do a great job.
Outstanding. Great job again, Chelsea. We'll see you next week. Hey, we've got some Mr. Football to talk about.
See y'all.
All right, guys, we've got some Mr. Football here to go. We've got an updated list. We have trimmed this list to 20 now. And you know what the question is? Who is in, who is out, who may be close. I think Kellen Hood at Richmond County might be very close to making the list, kind of on the edge this week. But Grice, tell us who some of these top guys are.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, you look at the top. I mean, Alonzo Barnett, you know, it started off, you know, scorching hot. I mean, he was Grice's gem to start the year with only 3 quarters of work, putting up major numbers in the first game. Struggled a little bit the second game, but still just continues to shine through. These next 2 running backs are no stranger to our watch list. Dalen Smothers against 2 of the best teams in North Carolina and Virginia. So you'll continue to put up big numbers. Same from Amari and Hampton. And I think you look kind of in the middle here. One big jump I pointed out, I saw Kevin Conception of Chambers. You talk about some of the quality that they've played, I just stated. In 2 games, averaging over 130, 140 yards receiving, and I think about 3 or 4 touchdowns. And again, they're not playing these easy teams. They're playing some of the top competition, and he's continuing to excel. So this top 10 right here is just, jam-packed with some guys that have had some great first few games.
Yeah, I think Hood should definitely be in it. I mean, after what he did this past week on a big stage, traveling, about an hour and 45 minutes? What is it to get to the stadium that they got to? It's a good little travel. He performed on the highest stage. I mean, he literally led his team to victory. And he's got the name to go with it. We know what the other Hood did, so he's got no problems taking things over. So I think he would make the top 20. That would be the only change that I have. And
that's just the tough part, Like I think I feel like we all have these, behind the scenes have these arguments because heck, you can say the same thing for Chambers, who drove 3 hours to Gibbons and 5 to Richmond. It's so hard. Like I agree, and
that's why we have Chambers. That's why there's 3 Chambers up there.
Yeah.
What other school has 3?
So Grimsley had 3. A couple of them have dropped off. I do want to give a caveat to Travis Shaw. Obviously, we've talked a lot about him, the big Carolina commit. He is yet to play this year. That's the reason he dropped off. There's a couple other guys who is off to some injuries. Of course, we've got some guys right on the outside. We mentioned our guy Kellen Hood of Richmond County. We've got some other guys around the state that have just been putting up some phenomenal numbers, like William Reed of Washington, Adam Cole of Southwestern Randolph. There's some big-time players out there putting up phenomenal numbers. But right now, this is it. But again, it's some incredible football players making some huge names for themselves in the state.
Definitely. And I think, Chris, we're going to the wonderful, magical Gary Richmond over here to tell you guys like it is. I think, what is it called, Chris, now? The Mind of Gary?
I'm not a big... Hey, everyone. Had a lot of good football this past weekend, high school and the start of college football. One of the things that interests me was the game on Sunday on ESPN between IMG Academy and Bishop Sycamore. Well, it turns out Bishop Sycamore fooled the execs at ESPN by telling them they had numerous Division I prospects and it would be a very competitive game. Apparently, someone at ESPN didn't do their research because Bishop Sycamore lost to the same IMG Academy by 50 points last year and over 50 points again on Sunday. And it turns out they didn't have any Division I prospects. Somebody at ESPN didn't do their research. The next topic, Trent Dilfer. former NFL quarterback Trent Dilfer was videotaped.
Doesn't like when his players talk back.
Using force to restrain a player and keep him from either other players or another coach. We didn't see the beginning of the confrontation. Folks, let me tell you, I've been a high school teacher for over 30 years, and I broke up over 100 fights. And you have to use force. I don't think he was trying to hurt the kid. I think he was trying to keep the kid from getting in more trouble. Was it too much force? We don't know unless we see what preceded the video. Right now, I'm going to give Coach Dilfer a benefit of the doubt because I know there are certain circumstances where you're trying to protect the kid from getting in more trouble and you have to restrain him. That looks like what took place, but we'll have to wait and see how the administration deals with it. The big news today is Cam Newton got cut. Am I surprised? No. Cam didn't have a great season last night. He's never been the most accurate passer, but I think Cam accelerated his getting cut by not getting the vaccine. He missed 4 days of camp last week, which gave his competition, Mac Jones, the opportunity to show the coaches and his teammates he was capable of leading the Patriots in week 1. We haven't heard yet whether Cam was released because he asked to be released with the opportunity to catch on with another team, or whether Coach Belichick felt like his personality was too big in the locker room and he didn't want that distraction from Mac Jones. The lesson here is quarterbacks need to be vaccinated. They're the most important players on the team, and the team needs to be able to depend on you to be there. And Cam wasn't there, and I think that cost him his job with the Patriots. And I don't think anyone else will sign him unless he agrees to get vaccinated. He's a big personality, and it's always going to be an issue if he's not on the field. The last thing is this weekend, we got some big games coming up in Charlotte. Thursday night, we got App versus East Carolina, a state rivalry. Friday night, we have Duke coming to Charlotte to play the UNC Charlotte 49ers, their first home game against a Power 5 opponent. And then Saturday, the big one, national television, Georgia versus Clemson. What a great football weekend we have to look forward to. And of course, let's not forget about the Tar Heels on Friday night against Virginia Tech. Big expectations for the Heels, but if they get off to a slow start, all those expectations go down the drain.
Wow, good stuff, Gary.
Thank you.
I like it.
Y'all want to comment on Bishop Sycamore? That is hilarious.
Crazy.
I mean, right? It's incredible. It's incredible. I think you look at that story, and again, we don't want to be seeming sensitive. We do understand the nature of older kids playing out there, but look at the jerseys. Did you see the picture of them only having home jerseys and them not actually having away? So they're playing a team with black jerseys, and they have on black even though they're the away team. I mean, it's unreal stuff.
Yeah. And they played Friday night. They had 2 games in 3 days.
Right. And I turned it the minute I saw the quarterback take a drop and then just straight duck, knowing what was about to happen. I put on an old movie. I was like, I can use my time better than to watch this kid get killed.
Hey, I hear Kenzie's watching, by the way, and she's talking about her Tennessee Volunteers playing on Thursday.
Come on, Gary.
What do you say about that?
Tennessee.
Who is Tennessee playing?
That's the point. But no, we miss Kenzie. We love you, Kenzie. Hey, you gotta get in here, man. We should have got Kenzie in here to battle Gary a little bit.
I know they had a ton of transfers and a new coaching staff, so they got a lot of rebuilding to do at Tennessee.
It's going to be interesting to see how they focus, how they kind of pick it up. But you know what? Hey, Guru, this is one of the hardest jobs, I think, on this show. You ranking these teams from 1A to 4A. Again, I love Gary's part because he's opinionated. He gives us some great topics. Now let's get into some of the nitty-gritty. Let's go to the rankings. Langston, drop those rankings starting with the 1A. Chris, take it away.
All right, man, this is easy for me. I've been doing it for 15, 20 years. Let's start right here with the 1A, as you mentioned. Number one team, Eastern Randolph, had a big win on Friday night, beating Asheboro, 3A Asheboro, by the way. Number 2, Tarboro. Robbinsville's number 3, even coming off that tough loss to 2A Brevard. Brevard's one of those 2A powers. Mountain Heritage, number 5, number 3 and number 5. They play each other Friday night. That's going to be a big game. Mountain area right there in the mix at 4. They had a huge win against Drum. Mitchell had that tough loss to Lake Norman. I think that says a lot for Mitchell, though, to be a 1A team, to schedule that game that day, by the way, go up and play Lake Norman on the road, nearly pulled it out. Murphy sitting there. Thomasville, big win over Montgomery Central. Looking at the back half, Rosewood, they play Princeton this week. Northside, Thomas Jefferson, East Wilkes. Watch out for those Cardinals. East Wilkes is really good. Perquimans, Swain County, Riverside. Let's take it over to the 2A. Some good teams there, Grice. I'm telling you, 1A football is where it's at.
Always ready to see what Thomas Jefferson has. Having Dakota Twitty there. You look at those 1A levels, when you have those type of Power 5 guys, you can't count over those teams because guys like that can take over a game.
A lot of times I think in 1A too, or the difference in like certain teams, like you have one team that's so good and teams are not even close to that team.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, Coach. Let's look here at the 2A rankings. Obviously, the football capital of North Carolina, Reidsville, right there atop the rankings, had that big win over Greensboro Page. Looking there, number 2, Burns. Northeastern, Salisbury had a 44-0 victory over Polk County. Hendersonville at 5. They are coming, guys. Henderson's going to be right there in the mix. Shelby, what are we saying when Shelby wins and they're still only 6th? Maiden had that incredible shutout victory over Watauga. Clinton, look at the back half. Washington. Washington's a good team, guys, by the way. St. Paul's, Wallace Rose Hill, Whiteville, Princeton, East Duplin, Monroe. I'm telling you, there is some good-looking teams here in this 2A. Any thoughts before we switch it over to the 3A?
I'm shocked at Burns. I think that's probably got to be the highest Burns has been, in quite a while. I think – I know it was 2019. I know they went pretty deep in the playoffs, and I think they lost to maybe it was Shelby in the playoffs to end their season. But Burns has come out this year, and I think been one of the surprises for me in the 2A classification.
They're one of my favorite teams to watch on film. Their head coach does a great job. I think the old school stuff is becoming the new school stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of fun to see it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we could. We could spend a whole hour talking about that. How it's kind of a lot of the new age stuff is kind of turning old again. Let's get 3A.
You're right, guys. Hey, here's the 3A rankings. Hey, quick thing about the 3A: 2 of the top 10 teams come off losses this week, but still remain there playing tough 4A opponents. Greensboro Dudley's number 1. They got a big game Friday against Hillside. Scotland County lost to 4A Hoggard. They dropped. Lee County dropped after losing to Glenn. You're not going to really penalize those teams too much for losing to 4A powers. Havelock did not play. That's one of the reasons they didn't jump up. Jacksonville's on that precipice of really moving up. Terry Sanford has a big game against 13 Cape Fear this week. South Point, big win over East Gaston. 71st is one of those teams, guys, you want to circle that is really looking strong. Rocky Mount had that close loss to Northeastern up from the 2A ranks. Look at the back half, East Lincoln Crest. Wilson Hunt, Cape Fear, Kings Mountain, Statesville, a lot of really good teams. I don't know that we've got any true powers except for maybe 2 or 3 of those at the top, but still pretty tight from top to bottom.
All I got to say is if my man Sam Griner goes 2-0, we got to at least have him in the others receiving votes. I don't understand. I'm about to get in my Stephen A. Smith. The disrespect is crazy. Like,
no big deal. All we do is play 4A teams. So, they played a 4A team. Well, look at our schedule. We played nothing but 4A teams.
Log in tomorrow morning to Carolina Preps, and you'll see the extended version of these sound, and you'll see yourself right there. Probably 16.
Rodney Dangerfield over there. Can the man get respect?
I've considered you the guru for a long time, but I feel like you ain't got a good crystal ball because I know what we about to do.
I might not have a crystal ball, but I have a shiny toy that I can see my reflection in.
Hey, oh my goodness, that 3A is going to be good. I mean, we were able to see Dudley up close, and they look like a 4A level team with the size, with their numbers. I mean, they're going to be tough to beat going forward.
No doubt, Grice. Let's speaking here of the 4A, Chambers number 1, no question about that, playing a tough schedule. Huff at 2. Richmond moved up to 3. East Forsyth moved up to 4. Grimsley at 5. You know, they had that tough game. They barely escaped that game with Reagan on Friday night. Cleveland, Amarion Hampton was just on fire. He probably was coming close to moving to my top guy on the Mr. Football list after that performance. Butler at 7. They didn't drop far with that loss to Richmond. I think we know how strong they are. There you see Catholic, Cardinal Gibbons. Gibbons is going to go to Richmond County Friday night. Newbern's got that big game coming up. Glenn, they go to Chambers Friday night. Chambers' first game, by the way, on their campus after the rename. Southview's going to Hope County. That's a big game. Wake Forest at Hoggard this week, big game. Weddington at West Forsyth, they play a big game. Myers Park sitting right there, man. All these teams are playing each other. It's almost like playoff football right now, the excitement going around 4A.
Oh, it's the 4A Fight Club. I mean, that's why I've called it that for the past few years, and it continues to be that. I mean, I think one of the big things, we're going to continue to see how good that Catholic win in week 1 over South Meck is as they continue to get better and better each week. It's one of the things that I continue to point out, and I think you look at that list, a team like Weddington, as they start to get in the meat of their schedule, they've kind of played the private school circuit. Now as they get to some bigger games and get to some bigger teams, I think it's going to be interesting to see. One game I thought of with 3A with South Point, just found out that they're playing Hickory Ridge. That's going to be an interesting one kind of back on the 3A level to see how good South Point is this year as they play a top team, as we know, with Jupiter Wilson's Hickory.
I had to get that film, Jupiter.
Yeah, look at him already setting it up. Hey, well, Langston always gets on us for being heavy, always talks about how we just continue to talk and talk. This segment, I think, is the most efficient segment of our show. 60 seconds with Chris. I'm ready to hear it.
What's up, everybody? Chris Hughes again here for 60 Seconds with Chris here on Talking Preps. Man, we've stood on the outside of the pool for the past couple weeks. I thought, man, what the heck? Let's just get in the pool and do 60 Seconds with Chris. So here we are. You know me, guys. We're going to crack open a nice cold sun drop. That citrus taste you just go wild for. Oh, man, I love it. All right, guys, 60 Seconds with Chris. We had a good past couple weeks. We're going to kind of step it up. I'm going to give away a few more game balls because I think Guru's game balls really went over well. So, hey, without further ado, let's go ahead and count it down. Let's wind up that clock. 60 seconds with Chris. 3, 2, 1, boom, and we're off. Guru's game balls. Adam Cole, Southwestern Randolph. This is a running back, a defensive back. He had 225 all-purpose yards, 6 touchdowns, guys, 6 touchdowns. He did it rushing, receiving, fumble recoveries, pick sixes. Man, he was on fire. William Reed, Washington High School, he had 194 yards on 8 carries, guys, 8 carries. Tyson Riley, big running back at South Point, they ground and pound the ball. 24 carries, 224 yards. Big time, man. He deserves game ball. Derek Matthews, running back at Forbush, big time. Madison High School snapped the second longest streak in the state, 26-game losing streak. Quarterback Caden Hillman had a great game in that one. The entire staff, the coaches, the players, everybody, the community at Canton Pisgah High School, you know what they've been through. 28-0 win Monday night against Inca. The linebacker, Braden Schuler. What a performance. Great job, Braden. Our very own Sam Griner. Hey, first win at the West Side. WC, West Charlotte, had that big win. Good job, Coach Griner. And, my under-the-radar game this week, Southview, going on the road to play Hope County. That's a big one. I think there it is. I think I heard the bell. It was kind of weak bell today, but the bell went off. Hey, guys, that's been 60 Seconds with Chris. I hope you like it here in the pool, drinking a sun drop. Man, talking preps.
We need to get some type of music playing before we go right here. I mean, that's some legit background music, Grace.
Hey, man, you spend the money, you got to do the work.
I haven't heard music like that since I watched Boogie Nights back in the day with Dirk Diggler.
Well, before we get to my game, let's get the Guru's games to watch week 2.
All right, man. These are some big-time games. I mentioned a few of them earlier talking about the rankings. Glenn going to Chambers. Again, this is going to be a big night for Chambers. First night in their stadium at the newly named school coming away from Vance. Wake Forest at Hoggard. Hoggard had that big 24-7 win over Scotland County last week. Gibbons at Richmond County. You know, remember back in April, the third round of the playoffs or second round of the playoffs, Gibbons smoked the Raiders. I think it might be a little bit different this go around. Yeah. West Forsyth coming down here to Weddington. Reagan at Myers Park. Reagan nearly knocked off Grimsley. So I would watch out. Reagan's got some good-looking toys there, good-looking players there. Cape Fear at Terry Sanford, big 3A game. Ardrey at Marvin Ridge. Porter Ridge at, well, actually, I think we're going to scrap that one now. Kings Mountain at Burns. Crest at Shelby. Looking on the other side. Edenton Holmes. This is their first game of the year. They have not played yet. Playing Rocky Mount. This is a Thursday game. Franklin at Swain, Mount Pleasant at West Stanley. If you like old school football, that's going to be a big one. Robbinsville at Mountain Heritage again, kind of that old school classic battle. Greenville Rose, they've had 2 tough losses heading up the road to Elizabeth City, to Northeastern. Dudley at Hillside, that's going to be a phenomenal one. The winner might be the fans. The concession stand food up there at Hillside's phenomenal. Yeah. Lake Morgan at Statesville, big rivalry game. Southfield at Hope County, I mentioned that one. Southern Nash at Wilson Fike, that's a Thursday game. That's 2 big 3A schools. Rosewood at Princeton. Used to be a big 1A battle. Now Princeton's up there getting it done in the 2A. That's going to be some good games, guys.
Oh, it's going to be some phenomenal games. And, and I always would call the Piedmont Triad 4A Conference the Baby IMAC. I mean, you got 2 games that you highlight here. You look at Glenn coming down to face Chambers, and you look at Reagan coming to play Myers Park. If that area wants to make a statement about their football, to me, those 2 games are going to be the games that I circle for that area, the 336, to show they can come down here and get it done to the 704.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's get our man Alex Zetlow and talk these top games from South Carolina, get his piece on those.
What's up, everyone? This is Alex Zetlow, sports editor of the Rock Hill Herald. For the 4 games that I previewed last week, unfortunately, 3 of them got folded because of COVID. So hopefully this upcoming week, that is different. But let's get into them. All right, number 1, Gray Collegiate at Legion Collegiate. Legion was one of those games last week that, got folded because of COVID. This is finally going to be their NCISAA debut. Hopefully, the game goes as planned. Straight Heron, great Rock Hill coach, formerly at South Point, formerly at Northwestern. Hopefully has those Lancers ready to roll. Northwestern at Clover. Northwestern is coming off a big win against Rock Hill earlier this week. Clover is coming off a big win in week 0, technically, the opening week, against Dorman. And so that'll be a clash of 2 5A heavyweights. And then the next 2, Lancaster and York, both are starting their first ever games of the 2021 season. Both had 2-week quarantines going into week 0. Lancaster is playing a crosstown rival in Chester, and York has rescheduled its game. York was originally supposed to play Westwood. They'll now play at Fort Mill. Fort Mill is 0-2 on the season, looking to get a fresh start. And that's what you have it. Those are the games that I'm looking forward to.
All right, Grace. Thanks, Alex, for that. What is your top games of the week this week?
Oh, I had to do it. West Charlotte, Independence, game of the week. Let's drop it. I had to ask, I had to ask a question from the bosses to make sure we could do this here on the show. But my man Grinder's got a big game. Hey, we're trying to get those West Charlotte lines to 2-0, but I have a feeling that Independence, those Patriots are going to have something to say about it. Again, it's an old-time rivalry. I think that, we've got 2 great coaches that are trying to bring that back, and Coach DJ McFadden and Coach Sam Griner, and I'm excited for it. Here are my 3 keys for the game. I think the first one, we look at kind of unfamiliar territory for Coach DJ McFadden. I think, that's a testament to some of the quality programs he's been a part of and some of his past success as an assistant. But going 0-1 and losing to Marvin Ridge and, and kind of getting beaten handily, it's going to be key to see, how he responds and how the team responds from that major adversity there. I think that's something that, we're not used to seeing, and it was a little bit of an eyebrow raiser for me. But, of course, as we know, another week to get it right, another week kind of post that COVID, shutdown that they had. Be interested to see early on how they show and how they bounce back from that week 1 loss. Also on the West Charlotte side, man, that was a very emotional game. I think I tweeted out or I put a status out that, to hear about a West Charlotte Harding, sold out game. I mean, the West side needed that. I'm not from here, but it just got, kind of gave shades of the 90s, I guess, over there on the West side, and just was a great feeling. And, the scenes and some of the pictures I saw, it was great to see Harding kind of filled with that, with fans, see the players, really jazzed up. But it creates a letdown spot after such an emotional game. Can Griner continue to get his kids focused and ready to play after, a big win there with a chance to go 2-0 and really kind of set out that, major, that kind of spot as a major 3A contender? And then finally, as I look, to the battle and kind of what's going on with, with the matchup, to me, I think that third phase of the game, special teams, is going to be key. I mean, we saw, Indy McDowell, had a big return that I think really flipped the game on its head versus Harding. Can he do that again? I mean, I think he's a great kid with, has great athleticism. I'm looking at him as a key player in this game that I think could be a major X factor to help Griner get the victory. So, that third phase of the game is going to be key, but I'm excited. I wish I could be there for you to see what's going on, but we'll see. I know Griner wants
negative Dale, gloom and doom in the back, trying to say negative stuff. He was not packed. It was loaded for people. All right, it was loaded for people that
I sent out pictures. It was not packed.
No, you cannot buy any more tickets, Dale. I saw people trying to buy them in the secondary market.
Just because you couldn't buy any more tickets doesn't mean it was packed. The stadium was maybe one quarter filled.
West Side School, check this out. West Side Schools, right? You had close to, 400 or 500?
It was quarter filled. The stadium was one quarter filled, maybe. There were more West Charlotte fans there than there were Harding fans.
Hold on a second. Here's the thing. How many times have you heard West Side Schools getting pre-sales tickets, 500 of them? See what I'm saying? It would have been if they would have not closed the gates, because I even said this to their AD, Coach Bailey. All right, I said I'm sorry you guys weren't able to open up the ticket booth, because that place would have been crazy packed.
Yes,
it would have been crazy packed. But due to the circumstances,
it was just a lot misleading for CMS to say the game was sold out when it was a quarter filled stadium.
Hey, in the future, Sam, y'all need to have some award for the winner of the burgundy and gold game. Something that represents burgundy and gold, since both teams like to rep that color, even though West Charlotte's looks a little bit better.
West Charlotte's looks a lot better.
Yeah, let's have some kind of trophy for that.
Now, last year we had the exact same colors, but we're bringing back that old gold back, and I think that's important.
You guys look good. I'm gonna say that the uniforms look good. Well, the team looked good too, but the uniforms look great.
Well, with any football game on the West Side, you're gonna have good food. Okay, at West Charlotte, once they get back in their stadium, you're gonna smell that fish cooking.
You're supposed to smell it at Harding, but they didn't have it.
Yeah, that's what I'm used to on the West Side. Even when West Charlotte was bad and we would go over there and I had to work up in the press box, coach from the press box, I'd always send somebody down to get me one of those fish plates in the middle of the game. What you cooking this week, Dale? What you got?
Unfortunately, I didn't cook. I wanted to, but I had well pump issues. But we'll show people how to make food that you can go pick up that's fairly popular look good or taste
All right,
good.
well, let's get the video. Drop it, Lance.
Would you, as I asked, would you? Yeah, baby. Strawberry ice cream, Frank's hot sauce, yum.
My lunch, I could not do wings because of some issues here at home. My Frank's is going to go on a hot dog from Cookout, a corn dog. I do have a bacon wrap, but I don't normally put Frank's on it. I might. Sure why.
Okay, how did we do? Well, there is only one way to find out.
Always good. That's not the first time. The corn dog. They make some of the best corn dogs you'll get.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Never put Frank's in my bacon wrap before. Yeah. Frank's goes on anything. A little extra because this bacon wrap is one of the best sides you can get. And I, of course, have a lot of extra Franks here, as hopefully you can see. And I just wanted you to know. This is good. Frank's goes on anything. So you want me to? All right. I saw the suggestion. I don't know what it'll be like, but I give it a try.
I would be down with that. I mean, I could not do the mayonnaise last week for obvious reasons. I hate mayonnaise, but the Franks, I could do it on the ice cream. I would even be willing to mix it in the sun drop, see how that is, but I think it'd be okay.
I'd try that. So,
hey, Grice,
ice cream was. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Gary.
I think you and Chris are going for an NIL deal because one of you got Cheerwine and Franks, and the other one got Sun Drops. I think we're looking at an NIL deal. What you think?
Oh, they're getting there. I mean, Chris is already partially. He's like the unofficial sponsor. For Sun Master, if you will. They're getting there.
Interestingly enough, I was sponsored by Cheerwine a few years ago, and I could probably make that call and do it again. And Cheerwine actually does own Sundrop, but I just love Sundrop. I'm not out there promoting them because I'm trying to get their money. I love Sundrop. In fact, I just want free Sundrop, so they can send it to me. I'll send them my address. We'll make that happen.
Sundrops are great. Hey, and that ice cream with Frank's, really the first time I tried it was back about, I don't know, a month or so ago, and I didn't know what it was going to be like. Wow, it is good. It really is.
You need to patent it.
Patent it? Wait till you see some other stuff I'm going to do.
Ice cream out there.
Make some Frank's ice cream. How's that? I've got a whole bunch of other ideas about this, extreme stuff. And actually, I'd like to hear some ideas. Chris threw an idea down. You know what? I'll try it, man. I'll try anything. I might end up saying I'll never do it again, but no.
Hey, but that's
you remember there used to be this commercial with these little kids on it, and they would say, "Give it to Mikey."
Yeah, Mikey
will try anything.
Yep.
But now they need to make a Dale commercial.
Man, that was a long time ago. We're talking about Life cereal. I don't even think they've made it since the 80s.
Well, well, actually, you were an adult by then, weren't you? That commercial was in the 70s.
Yeah, I was a kid in the 70s.
Yeah.
I remember it. All right. Well, what do we have on tap now? I haven't even looked at our notes stuff. Oh, hey, I'm sorry. I'm missing it. All right, we're going here into Grice's Gyms. Let's go ahead and roll the music. All right, Grice. Hey, we're here for Grice's Gyms. You have made this segment here what it is. I'm excited to talk about these young guys. What do we have on tap here tonight?
We've got some great performances here. And I think, one of the good things about this, Guru, is that these guys aren't specifically in our Charlotte metro area. A lot of big performances by some guys, around the state that I want to highlight.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about this show, expanding. I've always been that statewide Murphy to Manio kind of guy. And now here with Talking Preps, man, we're going Waynesville to Wilmington, Murphy to Manio, everywhere in between. Let's look at some of these incredible performance here for Grice's Gyms. We're going to go over to west side of Lincoln County, West Lincoln High School. Mason Avery, talk about his big game Friday night.
And Mason Avery, of course, 25 carries for 180 yards in a 27-7 win over Cherryville High School. Now, hey, Avery so far, he's got 59 carries for 423 yards in 2 games. Again, we talk about looking at the bigger picture of some of these great performances. And, hey, we always know the Guru has, the Mr. Football on tap. We know Mason Avery's a guy we need to consider here as we see him catching one for a big touchdown there. I mean, he seems like a versatile kid that can do it all. you see traditionally here in a wing-based offense, that running back, if he's going to be on, it's going to be a long night for the defense. Guru, your thoughts?
Absolutely. And just looking at it right here, the first thing I notice is that he gets downhill really quick. Once he gets that first or second step, gets past that initial wave of linemen, he is running downhill. And anytime that happens, it's hard to bring a guy down. Let's look at him right here playing defensive end. While he comes off that edge really quickly, there you see him right there in the fullback, hand in the dirt, and there, boom, downhill already. West Lincoln runs a very power-based offense to begin with. I like everything I see from Mr. Avery.
Definitely. That's why he's a Grice's gem. The next, Hazan Collington out of North Henderson. Again, 13 carries, 207 yards, and 4 touchdowns, and a big 56-21 win over Rosman here. Again, you see the low number of carries and high yards per carry. Emphasize he was a guy that, big performance here. A lot of long touchdown runs here as he was big in that win over Rosman.
And I know, granted, it's Rosman who's a 1A team, but that doesn't matter. It's hard to get yards against a middle school team sometimes. You've still got to be out there running those 207 yards, and you've still got to carry the rock and tote the mail, and that was an excellent performance right there. 13 carries, 207 yards. I'm not a math major, but I can tell that's a lot of yards per carry. Kudos to a big night in that win over Rosman. Hey, let's looking right here at another big win, Grice. Danny Parker at South Brunswick High School. That's another team that just really likes to run downhill and grind you. He had a huge 5-touchdown game, shutting out Midway. And I just want to throw this nugget out there to you, Grice. They shut out Midway, who the Monday night before scored 80 in a game. So, that's a great defensive performance. Tell me about it.
Hey, that's, a big thing there. We talked about that Monday a little bit on last show we had. Midway's a team that had a lot of offense. Again, while the defense did well against Midway, you see Danny Parker was a core element in South Brunswick, putting up 33 points with 197 total yards there. So, again, 5 touchdowns. That's one of the biggest performances we had in week 2 here. So, got to highlight this big win over a team that scores a lot of points.
Hey, tell us about this next guy. They had probably one of the biggest wins of the state last night or Friday night.
We talk about former Easter Side quarterbacks. We know how good Easter Side was in Little 4A. Now Jalen Rayner is the next guy on that mantle. Dual threat guy, ran for 127 yards and 4 touchdowns while also passing for 177 yards and a score. And what I think is one of the biggest and probably most, I don't want to say improbable wins because East Forsyth is a great program, but to how big they beat Roseville, 55-26. We see here, this is a big reason why. I just don't know, Guru, how they keep finding these great dual threat talents here, and they look like they're going to be a factor here in 4A.
Well, Forsyth County is a hotbed for talent, and you've got a great Hall of Fame level coach in Todd Willard. They're going to get it done. They won back-to-back 4A championships coming into the shortened spring season last year, obviously due to about 6 D1 guys moving on. They didn't have the year they expected, but I'm here to tell you guys, this East Forsyth team is the real deal. When you look at Jalen Rayner, he's one of the reasons why they can get it done through the air, on the ground, on defense. They're going to be fun to watch as this year goes on.
Definitely, as a coach, have my eye on that East Forsyth team and know if we have to play them, Jalen Rayner is going to be a key guy that we have to stop. Let's bring it back closer to the 704, though, Guru. Help me with this. Is it Steven Zayakowski? I think I got that right.
Zayakowski, Porter Ridge.
I am proud of that. Hey, 34-10 win over West Cabarrus. Again, he's a guy that does it all. So let me try to get this right. 14 tackles, interception, a pass breakup, plus 1 reception for 25 yards. Also had 4 carries for 41 yards and a touchdown. What else did he do? I'm sure he was selling Chick-fil-A sandwiches at halftime.
Yeah, I was going to say, he was probably the water boy. He probably taped up some ankles before the game. He may have even drove the bus. Who knows? But I am so happy that we got a guy like this on this segment because far too often we talk about the guys that put up the massive yards, and rightfully so. But you and I both know we've been around the game a long time, both coached it a long time. Without guys like this that can get their hand in the dirt, who can play hard-nosed football, without those guys, you're not going to win a lot of games. And I see him, he might not have the stats, but he's a guy, if I was a college recruiter, I would look at a guy like them because those are typically the heart of your program, or men like that. They're kind of that glue that keeps it together.
Definitely. And as a guy, I love the versatility. We talk about having some of these guys that play both sides of the ball. This ain't a 1A or 2A program here. It's a 4A type school where you got a guy. If he's playing both sides of the ball, he's valuable to their team. And with the heck of a game they had versus West Cabarrus, he had to be at Grice's gym.
Well, man, that was another week at Grice's gyms, man. You just keep getting it right, Grice. I can't wait to do it again next week.
like I tell you every week, guys, if you ball, you're definitely going to get the call. So send us a message, send me a DM on Twitter. If you have a big game on Friday night, if you're a parent, you're a supporter, and you see a player that had an outrageously great game, send that to myself, send it to Langston Wirtz Jr. on Twitter, and let us know if you want to be at Grice's gym.
Wow, great segment, Grice. We talked about some incredible players, and I think we get to do it again here with fresh faces.
Oh, yeah. Let's drop it.
All right, everybody, back here with the Grice. I'm the Guru. Hey, you know what? That sounds like a pretty good show, Grice and the Guru. You know, we got Mike and Mike, Mike and the Madman or whatever. I kind of like this Grice and the Guru.
Oh, I think we're going to get legs on it. I like it.
I think so, too. Hey, we got fresh faces here tonight. It's going to be big because we have got some absolute young ballers that are going to be big time here before the end of the year, so I can't wait to talk about them. All right, first one right here. South Brunswick lineman, offensive and defensive lineman Garrett Frazier had 4 sacks against Midway, shut out Midway. Remember, Midway scored 80 points the week before, and this guy right here, he just got on, Grice.
Again, I love it. I mean, you talk about, high-powered teams and the ways to stop them. If you've got a lineman that's dominant, in the trenches and you're trying to, do a lot of things offensively, that's going to be the biggest deterrent to scoring a lot of points and getting a lot of yards. So, again, a guy like that having 4 sacks, we've got to highlight him again. After all the publicity with Midway the week before and the insane video game-style numbers, the next week, hey, if you're not blocking, you're not tackling this game, it's going to be tough. So, good to see Garrett Frazier really dominate in the trenches last week.
Absolutely. And I got to say it don't matter how shiny those toys out there in the perimeter are. The skilled guys can be phenomenal. You don't have those big guys up front, those hog mollies to kind of move them from point A to point B. You're not going to win a lot of football.
Definitely.
All right. Let's look at our second fresh face here tonight. We're going to stay right here in the Queen City. West Mecklenburg running back linebacker B.D. Waddell, the 5th here, is the son of the Hawks head coach. He had a big night, Grice. So what do we know about this young man?
Again, coach's son. I've pretty good relationship with Coach Waddell. I know that that lineage and how proud they are of that name. He's not going to put his son out there on that field unless he's truly ready. And I think he showed that against Rocky River. 12 tackles, 3 for a loss. Again, had a 2-point conversion that was a game-winning touchdown also. And that come from behind win over Rocky River. It's amazing because I think this kid is maybe a sophomore, if that. I think he's a young kid, and I look forward to see how well he's going to do in that ceiling. Again, Coach Waddell taking over that program last year, or I guess this spring with COVID. He's a kid that we've got to watch out for, and a fresh face that I think is going to be around here for a while in the Queen City.
Yeah, and West Mecklenburg's 2-0. That's a team we're going to certainly have to look out for in that 3A rank, so that's a big one. Hey, let's look here at the next fresh face tonight. Hobson's quarterback Loden Bradshaw has led his team to 165 points in the first 2 weeks of the game. That's the wrong film right there, but I'll just kind of throw it out there. Hobson, you've got the true air raid offense. My good man, Coach George Coltharp, calling the shots, and an offensive line coach, Joe Salas, who is one of those, godfathers, I guess, of air raid football there running the mix. And here we go. You see the Hobden Wildcats there, the gold breeches. And look at this guy going right there. Loden Bradshaw, getting it done with his feet through the air in the 93-point performance that they put up Friday night through touchdown passes. Let me make sure I'm looking at it right. He hit 6 different receivers, I believe, for touchdowns throughout the night. Just an incredible performance.
It's great. And I mean, again, in an air raid offense, if they're being successful, the quarterback is doing everything he needs to do. You can see him throwing here under pressure, delivering that ball for a touchdown. I mean, it's no secret with, Coach Coltharp, Coach Salas, and those guys being the masterminds behind this offense, why they're successful. So I'm looking forward to seeing everything he can do this year because, again, starting out this fast, having this level of success, look out. He may be a name we have to consider, Guru. I mean, that's some video game style numbers. I know I say that, but, you start to see 165 points. Goodness.
Yeah, no kidding. I also just want to throw the name out there. Bobby Dowell rushed for 255 yards and on 21 carries. That's some kind of big-time numbers. I have a feeling that this team is going to shatter the North Carolina scoring records for a season. It's going to be that fun to watch. But let's look at this next fresh face this week. South Mecklenburg defensive lineman Taran Williams, 6'8" with an 84-inch wingspan. But the most important stat, you see it right here on the bottom of the screen, the 3.5 GPA. Smart players, they play smart football.
I mean, you see all these articles, Langston's writing, talking about why is Joe Evans, doing well. It's an upset. And an upset when you got a line, got to tackle that big. You just run behind them and you go ahead and get yards. I mean, it's no secret to success, when you've got offensive linemen that are doing what they're doing. And I think having a kid like that, he's a smart kid. He's a big kid with great size and a great wingspan there. Those are all the measurables for an excellent offensive tackle. And I think he's shown that so far. And their tough loss to Catholic, but also their comeback and their, borderline destruction of Providence this past week. So I'm excited to see that kid. While he may be a fresh face to us, I don't think he's going to be a fresh face for too long around here.
No, I don't think so either, because that's just a great looking player. And these were all phenomenal players here on Fresh Faces. Christ, this has been fun. I can't wait to continue to shine the big spotlight here from Talking Preps on these guys throughout the year.
Definitely. It's been great to see it so far. And I think as we continue this season, even in this COVID year, I think it does provide a lot of opportunities, maybe for guys that don't get that shine normally, or for players that are playing outside of the major viewing area for us to kind of get that spotlight and allow us to highlight them. So I look forward.
Uh-oh, mistake. Okay, I'm not Alex Bass. We do have Sam standing in. Really curious to see how this goes with Samuel. But one's got to go, breakfast food. Gary, you come up with these questions. We got pancakes, eggs, grits, oatmeal, and French toast. This is very easy for me. I hate eggs. Eggs got to go. Samuel, what do you got?
It's so simple. Oatmeal. Like that's
oatmeal. I love oatmeal. Why oatmeal?
There's no chance. Like out of all that right there, French toast is like by far not going anywhere. Eggs, you can do so many different things with it. Pancakes, if you get that nice little crunch to it, unbelievable. Grits, you throw a little vegan meat in it right there. Good stuff. Can't roll with it.
What was that vegan burger you eat before we came on the show? Impossible Burger.
Impossible Burger, yeah.
Yeah. Gary.
Oatmeal. I'm with Sam. I
Come on, think alike, Gary.
I love oatmeal.
Think alike.
I'm not a breakfast person, but when I do eat breakfast, it's probably going to be cereal oatmeal. I like oatmeal. Dale.
So this one's kind of good because I love oatmeal. So no, oatmeal's not going. Grits, yeah. Grits are good too, man. Put a little bacon on, a little grease. What are we narrowing down to? So we got pancakes. I love pancakes.
Yeah.
Pancakes got eggs in them. French toast. Love French toast. French toast made with eggs. I got my eggs on all that, right? So eggs can go. I love eggs, by the way, but since I got eggs with my other stuff, I got my eggs. So.
I'm with you.
I don't like
food logic. Food logic.
We lost Dale altogether. He just left the room. I guess he wanted eggs. One's got to go. Reality TV. We got housewives shows. This is really easy for me. Housewives shows, talent shows, cooking shows, survivor type shows. I'm gonna say this real quiet because my wife might hear me, but housewife shows got to go, man. I mean, oh my God, I'm so sick of looking at housewife shows. Or having housewife shows playing in the background. Just get rid of the housewife shows.
Give me an example of the housewife shows.
Like Housewives of Atlanta, Housewives
of New Jersey,
Housewives of everywhere.
Yeah. That has.
Oh my God.
That has no chance I would have ever watched that. Now I thought when it's housewife shows, what's the name of that? Chip and Joanna. What is it called? Chip and Joanna, where they like.
You know too much.
Let's say I like that.
Well, I know you're not going to get rid of survival type shows because you were going to do a survival type show one time.
That is right. That is right. Part of one, and they're still trying to bring us back. Yeah, 100% housewife shows. I'm with you. You're thinking right, Langston. I'm with you. You just took you a whole round early,
Gary, what you got?
Man, this is tough. I hate to admit, but in the summer, when there's not a whole lot of sports on, and I have to watch TV with my wife, You know, I end up watching these housewives shows, and I'll be like, "What did she do?" And you know, I'll get involved a little bit.
Gosh,
Netflix is too good to be stuck on housewives shows. Go watch Town High on Netflix. That's really good.
I love cooking shows, of course.
Yeah.
I don't like survival type shows.
Yeah.
Whoa, Gary, you better calm down.
But I've never watched the talent type shows like Dancing with the Stars,
American Idol, all that.
America's Got Talent, and all of that kind of stuff. I can't get into that. So the one that's got to go for me is the talent shows.
Dale,
let me comment on Gary before we move to Dale real quick. Like, how in the world can you like housewife shows? It's just strictly drama, is what I'm hearing.
It's fake drama too.
Yeah, I know it's orchestrated.
With way too much makeup. Why do women have on so much makeup?
I don't know, but like talent shows, that's one of the best things. Like you're seeing someone that's passionate about something. They can move you to tears in one of those shows. Talent shows, like you hear someone sing a great song on American Idol or America's Got Talent or something like that. I'm telling you, man, it'll choke you up. See, I like that type of stuff. But
all right, Dale, what's got to go?
Speaking of drama, survival shows are drama too, by the way.
Yes.
They're fabricated drama. So out of all these,
I'll tell you what, it wasn't fabricated where I'm at. I was out.
I would keep a survival show. Definitely got to keep the cooking shows. You know, that's definitely got to
go with that. Okay, Dale, we're gonna come back to you on this.
Housewives. Kick the housewives. Go
right,
ahead. Keep going.
We're gonna come back to you on this one. One's got to go sports channels: ESPN, NFL Network, NBA Network, Golf Channel, MLB. This is really easy for me too. Baseball's got to go, but it's on you, Dale.
You say it's on me?
Yes.
Golf Channel.
Oh no, not my house.
No way I'm getting rid of golf because golf's always great.
Yes, sir.
MLB, like Langston's, he's on the right path now.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Gary,
can I get rid of two?
Yes.
I'd get rid of the NBA Network too.
I would get rid of the Golf Channel and the MLB Network.
How do you get rid of you can't swing a golf club, Gary?
It's not a matter whether you can swing.
It's too slow. It's like
I don't know how you get rid of it. I don't know how you get rid of golf.
I'd rather watch paint dry.
Yeah.
Yes, gross.
You hit something, you walk after it, you hit it again.
Golf that's my favorite. That's my favorite sport. Okay, Gary, just for that, we're going to start with you here. Once got to go college game day hosts Reese Davis, Desmond Howard, Herbie, David Pollack, Ali Corso.
Now, look, I like old people because I'm on my way.
I knew you were going here.
But sometimes I don't even think Lee Corso knows where he is.
I know. I'm going to say
or what game he's picking or anything. So I think it's time for Lee Corso to retire.
So you don't want any more of the heads and picking and none of that?
No.
Is Lee Corso the Dick Vitale
he's got going on?
He makes Dick Vitale look young.
See, I love Dick Vitale. I'm just curious.
What'd you say, Sam? How you doing, Sam?
Like it's so like I'm thinking like people are giving him flashcards behind because he is so lost. He really is. Gary is 100% right.
I take it you're going the same way, Samuel.
Say what?
You going the same way?
Yeah, Lee Corso.
All right, Dale, what you got?
No, I'm keeping Lee because he is old. And besides, they're going to get rid of him. He's lucky to get another season.
Is anybody going to game day on Saturday?
I actually had somebody ask me if I wanted to go. One of the guys that does some photography with me has asked about that. So none of them, I can't get rid of any of them, Langston. Lee's going to get pushed out, so, you know.
All right, it's almost time, and I'm almost on time. You guys got 5 minutes.
Happy. Let's go, Brian.
You guys got a hard 5 minutes. What's that Richard Pryor in that movie? We're going to go a hard 3 minutes. You guys going to go a hard 5 minutes. Only one guy got the reference. Harlem Nights.
Well, hey, it's that time. Hey, by the way,
come on.
I got it. Welcome to.
Welcome to another edition of Thunderdome.
right, man, let's get it on.
Oh,
We got a big night here
Let
tonight.
me take 15 seconds to just start. I don't think I've ever disagreed with anybody on this show more than I did Gary that last segment. He watches housewives shows, but the Golf Channel's boring. Are you kidding me? Like,
I know.
And then to kick Corso out? No, blasphemy.
Corso doesn't even know what he's talking about anymore. He don't even know the team's name.
His percentages are pretty good though with the head on. Come on, man.
He's become a mascot.
Y'all love Dick Vitale, but no Lee Corso. Get out of here.
Dick Vitale could go.
Dick Vitale has substance.
Lee Corso does too. He has catchphrases. Okay.
All right. Grace, you get to go first this week, just because of the way you're being. That's cool. College kickoffs. ECU App State. Charlotte versus Duke. Clemson versus Georgia. Who do you like, Grace? You're on the clock.
Man, I am biased here. I love Coach Will Healy, what he's done with that program, and to start their game, start their season, especially after a kind of a hiccupy, off and on type season they had last year. Those guys are coming out with a bang playing Duke. And I think they're really going to have that place jazzed up. I think they're going to be ready to go, and I think they're going to give Duke, a little bit more than they can handle to start. Now, if they can keep that going, we'll see. But I'm excited for that game. I think there's going to be a legit shot. But, I mean, we read the Scott Fowler article, at least I did. I mean, this weekend in the Queen City is just amazing. I mean, for football, Griner, we'll be battling it out Friday night. We'll have Charlotte going Thursday night. You got, was it ECU App State there? And then just the coup de grace, the final, the dessert on the great college football menu is that Clemson Georgia game. I mean, we'd have to
nighttime, isn't it?
We'd have to pay a mortgage payment to get out there and actually be able to see Dowell. But hey, forget about that. The Queen City is where it's at for college football this weekend, and I want to shine the light on the actual university here in Charlotte stepping up to play a big-time program.
Yeah, I completely agree with Grace. I can't argue with him. This is a great highlight for Charlotte football. It goes kind of with our high school football. You know what I'm saying? Because high school football in Charlotte, how we were talking about great games earlier. I would love if there's ever a COVID situation, God forbid that. I would love to see Chambers versus Dutch Fork because I think Chambers would get them. And I ain't never said that about the GOAT. I think the GOAT's unbelievable, but I think Chambers, they're pretty daggone good. So.
Woo! Hey, we're starting on some heat, baby.
Wow. I can feel it right here. Hey, that's all gas right there. Flaming that fire.
Oh, my goodness.
What's my coach's name at ECU?
Mike Houston.
Mike Houston, that's it. I think he's going to pull an upset with the App State.
Here we go.
I would not disagree with you right there. Coach Mike Houston, I've seen what he's done throughout his career. Let's not forget, he was a head football coach at T.C. Robertson High School, went to LR, went to JMU.
Went to the national championship at LR. How does the LR?
He will get Petey the Pirate back on track. ECU is going to get big time with him.
No doubt.
And who knows? He may be at an ACC or an SEC school, but I'm with you right there, Coach Griner. Hey, let's move here to the second question because I know Langston wants to get off on schedule tonight. Thoughts on the first 2 weeks of high school football, trends, predictions? You're on the clock, Griner.
Well, the trends is just stay away from COVID. Eat less meat. And then you got great immune system. It only affect you. See, you don't even know you had it.
Oh my God!
And then the predictions is going to be. It's so hard. There's a lot of the heat index, wet bulb things. It's affecting a lot of teams. You have to get very creative as a football coach right now. So it's who's getting the most creative, and I think we have a huge advantage having a pool. We have a pool at West Charlotte, and we use it. There's a lot of times where you can get work in because it's never too hot to get in the pool. So predictions, how do people adapt to what's going on with the COVID situations? And then exactly what are they doing with the wet bulb because it's still been hot the last few weeks.
No, I agree 100%. I mean, I definitely think that, what you're seeing now is, again, the better prepared programs, the better coaching, I think, is the trend of the programs that you're seeing doing well. I mean, you see guys, of course, with that flexibility. Joe Evans, even with the dominant performance there over Providence, talking about how they weren't able to get out on the field to practice a lot, of course, because of the heat. But then you see their program and you see his plan. And, of course, clearly with us playing Providence this week, Coach had a very detailed and organized plan that you can watch the game and see, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is who I'm trying to attack. These are the key players I'm trying to utilize. And I just think the coaching cream is rising to the crop in these first few weeks of the season so far. My man Griner over there looking to go 2-0. I mean, you gotta give him the credit there. Coaches and guys working hard, man. He's building that program up, and you're seeing proof of that on the field. And even being able to see him scrimmage Burns, I can tell that he's put in some work there and it's showing.
No kidding. Hey, let's go to the third question. Grace, I'm going to stick with you on this one. Will Cam Newton ever start in the NFL, and where should he go?
Sad to say, and I love Cam Newton to death. I think it's over. Q, new edition. Is this the end? Are you my friend? It's over. It's one of those situations where they talk about how you can see he's worked hard in the offseason, and it's just to the point now. It's like you have to reinvent yourself. You can't be the young quarterback running around utilizing your legs to get out of trouble, anymore. Like, it's the same thing of like, hey, what can you do different? Had a great preseason, but it's a little, it's too late when you're doing the same as a rookie that's coming in here. And I think the lack of reinvention, over these last few years, for him adjusting his game to match his age or match the direction he's going is going to prove to be the death knell. I do think that he could potentially go, be a backup. I think, I'm sure Gary would love to see him in the Cowboys with Dak's history. I'm sure there are a couple other places that for sure could use a veteran quarterback that could step in there. But New Edition saying it best. Is this the end?
I'm going to agree again, Grace. I mean, you're thinking it's about time you got on this level that you can think straight and we're agreeing on everything. Cam Newton, I don't think he'll start because here's the main reason. For him to be successful, he needs to have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. Here's the problem. All those teams that have good offensive lines, they're happy with their quarterback play already. Yeah. Why are they coming to get Cam Newton? How many good teams have a great offensive line situation and they need a quarterback? You see what I'm saying? That's the issue. He always holds the ball. In my opinion, after I broke him down and watched him, the only year that he had that MVP year, he was super great because he was used like a Tim Tebow running the ball. Yes, Tim Tebow highlight right there for you, Gary.
We almost made it.
They ain't gonna have it. But I'm saying, here's the thing: he holds the ball a half a second to a second longer than anybody else in the NFL. Like, he really holds the ball, so you need to have great protection. Then he's able to make accurate throws. But whenever he's rushed, he's below average.
I'll say one thing, and I've never been the biggest Cam fan, but I'll say this, and I agree with some things he put out himself, 7-8 years ago. When Cam Newton was at the height of his career, having that MVP season for the Panthers, he was 100% officiated differently than other quarterbacks because of his physicality and his scrambling. And I do think that had a prolonged effect on his career with injuries and stuff.
Yeah, I think Cam Newton had a really great preseason, particularly game 2. He's like 8 out of 9 or 7 out of 8. Really looked good, but the last game is 2 out of 5 with an interception. But remember, he missed 5 days of practice with the COVID thing. And Cam had COVID last year, and New England went to the tank. And he said, I didn't feel right when I came back. And he was very off after starting hot. And I think maybe Belichick has some flashbacks to that. Bottom line, guys, I think there's a vaccinated and an unvaccinated NFL. And I think if it's close, I'm going to go to vaccinated guy because I can't have my quarterback get COVID in the middle of the year. We're on a 5-game winning streak. Now he's got to sit out 2 weeks. I just think Cam cost himself by not getting the shot, in my opinion. I just think he cost himself. Gary, you want to talk about the people in Louisiana and high school football players there?
Yeah, about 16 years ago, we had Katrina about the same time. And, of course, protecting life and people's livelihood is the most important thing right now. But you probably have thousands of kids in Louisiana that are not in school. And on top of that, they're not able to play football. And Louisiana is one of the biggest football states in America. They produce at least 100 D1 prospects every year. And, that's going to be taken away from them at least a month. So I think we need to keep them in our thoughts and prayers. I know when Katrina hit, I was at Vance, and we had a couple of kids actually move in from New Orleans, and they were granted permission to play right away because of what happened down in Louisiana, and we'll probably see that again. Those kids are going to scatter across the country so they can continue their high school seasons.
Absolutely. All right, it's that time. We reached the highlight of the show. Time for the big star to give his big thoughts.
I don't know if I'm a big star or not, but I'll give you my thoughts. I'm a little disappointed in the high school association on one thing. Nothing bad. It's just that college level, I wish we would get a little bit closer to the colleges the way they're thinking. They allow you to use the number 0. We're not allowed to use the number 0 in high school. And I think it's very cool. All these kids want to write single digits. And you got people like me that's like, or like Joe. Joe does not have a number 1. He thinks that it's like bad or something. And then I'm the same way with number 6. So we lose some of these single digits. We add a 0, and we actually played with it this past game, but they told us we cannot play with it anymore. And I just think it's a cool thing. We give it as a token for the best defensive player of the week, because you're always trying to produce a 0 on that side of the scoreboard. And I think it's a very cool thing, and the kids are starting to gravitate because they see it from college. They would want to wear it. So I think what is the big deal? How is making 0, just being eligible to be out there and playing football? I don't think it's that big of a deal.
All right. Well, we almost made it today, guys. We're only 5 minutes heavy. We're getting closer and closer every week. Great show today, guys. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate Chelsea. Kinsey did say they're playing Bowling Green on Thursday, rather. Kinsey, how you doing? Hope you're getting straight A's. We got to have you on the show one day.
I'm saying it here. I've never pulled against Tommy Knotts ever, but if they go against Chambers, he will lose.
Ooh, boy, he said it twice. All right, here we go. Al Langston, that's Sam Griner. He said it. That's Chris Hughes, the guru, the number 1 voice of high school football. Gary Richmond, Dale Ross. I'm like losing.
Your phone buzzing, Chris. Chris' phone buzzing already.
I know my phone just buzzed. That's why I was laughing. Thank you guys for watching Talking Press. We'll catch you tomorrow night. We got Jeff Craddock from Tarboro on Talking Press Overtime. Really great interview. I think you guys enjoy that. Next week we're going to have Jalen Jalen from Vance to Lineman. Swindell is going to be on the game show, take on Samuel next week. So we have a fun show next week. Next time on Talking Press.